Hello once again, and welcome back to the Tag Team Chumps podcast. My name is Jeff. Once again, as always, I'm joined by my friend and compatriot Reese,
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing great.
and hopefully a little bit of a shorter one today, because obviously with the last one that we uploaded, it was week. Um, we kind of covered a little bit of Monday Night Raw. So we're going to talk about what happened on Friday Night SmackDown and what we think will happen going into the next following shows. Um, I will say same theme as the rest of this year. SmackDown is showing up and showing what they can do because I actually really enjoyed this show.
I did as well, Jack. I thought it was really good all the way through. Yeah, some of the matches are a bit strange. Like I wasn't expecting that 10-man tag that we'll talk about, but yeah, I still think it was all pretty good as a whole.
Yeah, I agree. One thing I actually kind of want to start on, which is one of the bigger ones. We'll talk about the chamber matches towards the end and what we think is going to happen going forward. But one match that I was actually really impressed by, which I was very surprised, was Jade Cargill against Jordan Grace because we, I mean, both of us, most of the fans have been absolutely slamming Jade Cargill for the last 3.5 months that she's had the title. I think it's 3.5, something like that. And because she's had no real opponents, this fight she had a real opponent, someone who was, similar style, similar strength to her. And I actually thought it was really good. I won't lie, with how it went, I think she should have lost, but it was one of those where it was a compatible opponent, and I thought the fight was actually really good.
No, I agree. I think it was as a whole good match as a whole, but still not great from Jade. I am a proper Jade hater. Don't like her. Never have. Watched the WWE, not WWE, AEW stuff. Didn't like it really. Um, but I was rooting for Jordan Grace. Unfortunately, she didn't get the win. Big fan of Jordan Grace. Always have been since she joined. She's just a monster of a person, and yeah, I thought it was wrong. I thought it was the right result for the title reign that they have
Yeah,
Jade going for, but I feel like going forward should well at the moment it looks like the winner of the chamber is going to be challenging Jade, and unfortunately I just
I don't know.
don't know. I don't know, but would I want to see Liv versus Jade? No, because I feel like WWE would be the type of person to make Jade win that,
Mm,
and I just want Liv Morgan with the belt again. And
yeah,
Stephanie
no,
Barker is great and all, but I like Liv.
yeah,
That's
no,
simple.
I agree with that. I mean, compatibly and story wise, it doesn't make sense. Obviously, it seems as though Liv's been goading SmackDown more, though, obviously with like her appearance and so forth, especially with her turning up and interrupting the announcements at the start of the fight. It seems like she's goading the world title a bit more. Um, but the only thing I will say is that Jade's only just joined. That's probably why they haven't given her the title yet. Not Jade, Jordan. She's only just joined.
Yeah.
That's probably why they haven't. If she'd have been here maybe 2 or 3 months longer, same as Stephanie. Obviously, Stephanie had been here about 5 months when 5 6 months when she got the title. She's been here a little bit longer, maybe. But obviously for now it's what they're doing because this is the first that was the first real title defense for Jade as well. Um, in regards to her actual run because I don't think BFAB challenge, I don't think Meechin challenge. So um,
I feel like they were just there to fill the void a bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But then
Um,
again, as a whole, match wasn't bad. So we'll carry on, I think.
yeah, no, absolutely. The women's tag team match. Um, and, and it was one of those where it was like I don't understand why it had to end in a no contest because obviously that was definitely planned. What like
Yeah.
obviously and Lash and I are actually a tag team now. They've now got a name. The what's it called? Irresistible Forces. like it's actually listed as the actual tag team name.
Oh, is it? I
Um,
didn't realize.
it is, yeah. So it's a little bit of a strange one. I don't understand why it had to end in a no contest, but it did, and the title didn't move. Um, I mean, with the fight itself, Nia was no selling everything. Like like at the start of the match, it was Nia versus Io. Io's like punching her in the face. Nia's not reacting. But she was no selling the entire thing, and it's like you're being hit. You're supposed to be selling. You just stood there looking as if you're bored. Like I don't like Nia. I never have. Nia is one of those wrestlers that at least Rhea knows that she could batter a guy, but isn't stood there like this woman's not going to beat me up. Like Nia's stood there as if why am I fighting this small person? I should be fighting Randy Orton again. You know what I mean? I should be getting RKO'd. Like she just
Yeah,
knows
no,
that.
I get what you mean. She does that, and I'm not. No, Naya's grown on me a bit, but she's again still. She misses like there's points where she misses stuff in matches and things like that. And yeah, every wrestler does it, but she's frequent for it. And obviously, she had that bit of a actual fight with Charlotte Flair in the middle of a match at one point a
Mm,
couple of years ago now. She seems to be prone to be making these mistakes, and that to me always just signifies, she's really in a position where she shouldn't be. She needs
yeah.
to tone it down a bit and accept that she's in the tag team division for now, and you'll probably win the tag belts. But she doesn't need to just accept that she's there.
They probably will, to be honest. Obviously, with them having an actual name now, they probably will. I don't know if they'll be the ones to take it off of Rio, but at the same time, they have the the name. Rio isn't actually a name yet, with regards to actually holding the titles.
Uh, with that though, we could. I mean, I'm quite happy about the other tag match that we had. It was like a 10-man tag. It was quite interesting. Everyone seemed to get involved a bit. It seemed to be very like it seemed to be very competitive across the whole match.
Mm,
Obviously, towards the end, we've seen Carmelo Hayes get pinned by Tamatonga, probably one of the better ones of the um, MFTs. But I do like Tamatonga. I think he was good, and I think if you're setting up Tamatonga for the US Championship against Carmelo Hayes, it's the right way to go. I
I
feel
agree.
like Melo hasn't been pinned in a couple of months now, and I feel like if he's gonna get pinned, it should be in a way like a tag match. If he's not gonna drop the belt at the same time.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. And obviously, Solo started it by saying that he should be the one contending for it. Obviously, Ilya wants, that rematch. Um, Tamatonga definitely wants to be involved. Like everyone that was on Melo's team wants another shot at that title. So obviously, with the run to WrestleMania, it wouldn't surprise me if they're going to include Melo and the US title, if they do like a number one contendership, like like 4 man or a 6 man, something like that.
Wouldn't surprise me if they went back to the old route that they used to do the IC belt, just a ladder match with a bunch of people. I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised if
no,
that happened. I wouldn't say no to saying that because yeah, the ladder matches themselves weren't like absolute 10 out of 10 like we've had some recently with
yeah,
the TLC tag matches, but they were still it's a ladder match at the end of the day. It's still something interesting to see compared to
yeah,
every single match just being a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-2. You get that variety that sometimes WrestleMania does lack.
yeah. No, I agree with that. But what I will say is, I was actually very happy to see Apollo Crews involved. Obviously, he's been backstage a couple of times, obviously more recently. But I was happy that he was back in the ring, and he looked in very good shape.
Yeah, he's got his injuries obviously, disappeared a bit, and he's getting back there. And obviously, I feel like he wasn't involved in the match all that much compared to the rest of them, but I could see why. I feel like it's his first match back. It's the best way to ease somebody into a match is a tag match, and I feel
But
like Apollo did really well with his opportunity.
it's kind of what they did with him with Apollo, Matt, and Shinsuke though, because it's one of those they're in that. section where they're like, what do we do with them? I don't know, let's whack them in a massive 10-man tag.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, obviously it's not always the best position to be. I feel like Matt should be challenging for a championship, which I feel like he's going to be challenging for the US Championship,
Yeah,
just to basically say, here you go, have this until we can find a way to get you a world championship. Like, do you know what I mean? Because that's what he's back for. Like, we all know that's
yeah,
what he's back for. He's back for
no,
a money
absolutely.
reason. And
Um,
that's why, obviously, that's what they're doing, just to keep him happy for now.
yeah, no, absolutely. Speaking of two people that kind of don't know what they're doing, like with them, Trick versus Ray Phoenix again. Like, well, it's the second time in a month that they fought each other kind of pointlessly. Trick is in the main scene, but they kind of don't know what to do. They want to keep him on the show, but they don't know what to do with him until he's in the Elimination Chamber match, or until he's in the qualifier match, which it's next week, which we'll come on to that. But they don't know what to do with him until he's actually in that match and then in the Elimination Chamber. Um, but what I will say, obviously, is Trick versus Ray. I think that was it was one of the first fights of the night, like the last time they fought, and this match was a massive improvement. So the only thing I can think is that obviously with that being Trick's first fight on the main roster, might have been a little bit of like, I mean, as much as like like people would be like, oh no, he's a professional. Yeah, but the trip from NXT to SmackDown is a big one. You're seeing a lot more. So it might have just been like, wanting to impress those slight nerves of trying to make sure everything was perfect, and then it just kind of fell flat a bit. But I thought that it was a much better fight this time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like, though, if that as a whole, the Trick and Race sort of thing was good, the match itself, as you said. Trick getting hit his trick shot this time on him, which I remember talking to you about. You didn't get to see it, like,
Mm,
because obviously you hadn't seen much of him up until he came at the main roster.
yeah,
That's what his trick shot, something to see. Obviously, he folded Ray Phoenix inside out
it,
this
it
time,
was
and it was
phenomenal.
brilliant to watch.
It was
Just
phenomenal. Like,
completely gone.
I think both Trick and the ref kind of looked at Ray like it showed like for a second like shit, is he all right? Because he landed on his neck, but thankfully he kind of just fell backwards and didn't like fall down like from a good height, if you know what I mean. Um, but no,
Again,
yeah,
Ray Phoenix showing he is actually, up for it. You know what I mean? He is good
yeah,
at what he does, and obviously, I feel like the reuniting of the Lucha Bros needs to happen
it is necessary.
just for the sake of Ray Phoenix more so than Penta. I mean, Penta now does fall into that category of we don't know what we're doing with you because he did lose
Yeah,
his Chamber qualifier. So therefore, where would you put him? The Raw tag division needs him. The
yeah.
SmackDown tag division needs them, to be fair, because at the moment the SmackDown tag division's just disappeared completely.
Well, but the SmackDown tag division can come back. Like you've still got Fraxium and Motor City Machine Guns walking around. Obviously, yeah, Johnny doesn't have Champa anymore. But then you've still got the Wyatts and the MFTs. So as soon as one of those factions kills the other one and then they lose the belt, it might come good again. But at least Raw are trying to improve their tag division. Like obviously
Yeah.
they had the qualifiers for the number one contender. They actually had a fight, which was very impressive. But no, I think I do agree. I think the Lucha Bros could easily be one of the best tag teams of all time in WWE at all. Like obviously you've got the obvious conversation with obviously the Hardy Boys, the Dudleys, the Usos, New Day, but then
You're
outside of
missing
that,
one there. You're missing one there. Pause. You're missing one there. You're missing
oh,
my go tag team, Edge and Christian.
oh
Gotta
shut
remember
man.
that 5 second pause, mate. Like,
No one cares. They're in AEW. That's irrelevant. Don't
they're
care if you.
still unreal. And both of them, Christian outside of WWE is like Jesus in terms of wrestling. He is brilliant. Edge is just Edge. I don't need to define him. Everyone knows
Said,
Edge is my favorite
I'll
wrestler
give
of
you
all time.
Edge, but Christian. The only thing I'll say about Jesus is Jesus Christ of that opinion. But yeah, no. Go back to the point. Lucha Bros would definitely benefit them both because obviously whatever's going on with Dom at the moment, like I don't know if he's still injured or if he's almost recovered. That's why he's come back. But no one's going for the IC title at the moment. So maybe a reunion would be good for them. Maybe an actual segment for a later one. Definitely stealing it from Mr. Santi's app. But maybe we could have a conversation about who we think will dethrone each champion in the future. Maybe as we get closer to Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
But other than that, speaking of Elimination Chamber, we'll go through the women's first, which was Alexa Bliss versus Zelina Vega versus Julia. It was an alright match. It wasn't amazing. Obviously, I am liking them though. Like it's showcasing some of the less used fighters. Obviously, in this case, mostly Zelina. It
Yeah.
did bother me a little bit that she used Aleister Black's intro song instead of her own. But other than that, I thought it was a good fight. It wasn't anything incredible. It was a good fight.
No, I agree. I mean, Alexa Bliss performs as usual. I mean, she always does to me. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, it was just a bit, just average. No, it wasn't bad. Wasn't great either. There's not much more to say, other than Alexa Bliss, as we both agreed in the previous episode, the Alexa Bliss would be the one to win. But I, again, wanted her to win. At the end of the day, it makes more sense for her. And just to touch on it a little bit, because we will touch on this next week when the match has happened. But Charlotte Flair versus Nia versus Kiana James. Obviously, Charlotte Flair being Alexa Bliss's tag partner, is she the most likely to win? Yes. However, I could see Nia getting in there. I can't see Kiana getting in there as much as it'd be interesting to see. I can't see her winning against those two unless she somehow steals it from the other.
Yeah.
Which would probably be the only way I could see her winning. But Charlotte Flair, if she gets in the chamber, I feel like that could maybe signify sort of a little bit of a breakup for Alexa and Charlotte. I do feel like that if they both get in the chamber, neither of them will win it. If
Yeah.
Alexa's in the chamber and Charlotte isn't, Alexa still has has a chance to do it. But I still can't see it really. I can mostly see them two getting chamber, one of them trying to eliminate the other, and then one of them does eliminate the other, and then after that it's a bit of a breakup. Unfortunately, as much as I do enjoy their tag team.
Yeah. So
On to the next chamber. If are you wanting to talk about that match?
yeah, so just want to obviously I think it'll be Nia because the way I think they're going to do it, obviously they've got Tiffany, Alexa, and Rhea so far. So I think it'll be Nia because Tiffany beat Lash. So Nia's going to be in. So then it's one member of the tag team. I don't think Io's going to get in, but Io will probably end up being against Asuka. I can't recall exactly if that's happening, but Io will probably be against Asuka, and Asuka will probably get in. And then whoever is the last one. But I think that's the best way to do it. Have like one of the tag teams representing. If Charlotte does win, then it wouldn't surprise me if they kind of do something, like when Dom won his IC title. Obviously his was intentional, but he did the splash and pinned Finn because he was the one that was under him. It wouldn't surprise me if, say, Rhea flattened both of them, and then the way that Alexa lands she lands on top of Charlotte. They're both out cold. 1, 2, 3. Charlotte's eliminated by Alexa by quote unquote accident.
Yes. Something like
Just a
that, yeah.
thought, because obviously there was the whole accidental elimination of Alexa by Charlotte. Obviously, Alexa said, "You didn't knock me out, and I did." But then, obviously, if they try and like force the friendship still, she'd be like, "You didn't pin me on purpose. Rhea knocked us both out cold." Um, but it will be interesting to see. Once
I
again,
feel
obviously,
like it's
sorry,
gonna be like Alexa Bliss is like, as you said, similar to what you said, but I feel like Alexa or Charlotte's gonna do something. She's gonna land a move, and then she's gonna get back up. She'll turn around. Alexa Bliss will catch her in a Sister Abigail DDT and pin her. I feel like it would be the way to break it up. Would be Alexa's like, I got that hidden resentment from being eliminated from the Royal Rumble by her,
yeah,
and just kept it hidden until that match, and just like sneak attack beats her, and potentially goes on to win it from there. Because I could see that
yeah,
being, the win if Charlotte Flair pins, I don't know, Tiffany or something,
yeah.
stands up, turns round. They're the last two. Alexa Bliss takes no time whatsoever. Bang, Sister Abigail DDT straight away. Something like
Mm,
that. I mean, that's just an ideal world. I want to see Alexa Bliss win the chamber, but that's because
yeah.
I like Alexa Bliss.
I mean, I think we both agree though. Their whole friendship needs to come to an end. Um, Obviously, if one of them ends up winning the title, then that'll inevitably become like the next big feud again. Um,
I wouldn't say needs to. I'd say could, but I wouldn't say needs to. No, I do agree though
and
that
anything
it
else with
seems
them,
like if it's going
they're
to
not,
end, it's going to end over something like this.
yeah, they're not going to give them the tag team title back.
No, I can't say that either. It seems to
Yeah,
be far away from it compared to the rest of the tag team. I don't know why. But anyway, we've been speaking about match that's not even happened yet. But under a match that has happened, we had the unfortunate result of Cody Crybaby winning over Sami Zayn and Jacob Fatu.
yeah.
Uh,
Um,
Fortunately. Well, I'll let you go first, Jack. You can say your opinion on the piece, and then we all know what my opinion's going to be, but I'll go into it a
I
bit
mean,
more.
obviously, the thing that surprised me the most about that was the segment before where Drew was rooting for Sammy, kind of like an olive branch of sorts. Saying like I hope it's you instead of like Cody or Jacob. Obviously, if that's a case of because he's scared to fight Cody or Jacob like properly in a one-on-one, who knows? Or because he's obviously got that over Sammy. Obviously did his best to get that done. Um, Obviously with the way that the actual fight went, it was basically just a whole case of Sammy's getting battered the entire fight, which isn't realistic in my opinion. Like Sammy's a very good wrestler, and wouldn't it would be kind of a stalemate in my opinion if they did it properly. But they provided the olive branch, had Sammy get battered most of the fight, for Drew to intervene. Obviously,
Yeah.
launching Jacob through the table, which I think Jacob should have won it. To be honest with you, obviously, I would have liked to see Jacob in the chamber. I think it would have, putting putting that nutter inside the cell with five other people, it would have been class.
Yeah, but you're a massive fan of Jacob Fatu. I am. I like him. I can't say I like him more than some people. There are a lot of
Yeah,
wrestlers I do like. I don't know why. It's just I don't like the whole bloodline thing. It seems to be they get more opportunities than some of the other wrestlers who are a lot better. People like Matt Cardona, in my opinion, are better wrestlers than Jacob Fatu. People like AJ Styles recently hasn't had the more opportunities, but because he's not from the Samoan dynasty, he hasn't been able to get like many things away, and he's gone and disappeared straight away. Other wrestlers as well I could talk about forever. For example, that the tag matches, the tag teams, they're just not there. They're not
Yeah,
getting shown. It was just completely Wyatt Six versus MFTs. Nobody cared about it. It'd have been
yeah,
more interesting if we'd seen Wyatt Six versus MFTs versus an amalgamation of what's it, Machine Guns and Nathan Fraser and Axiom.
yeah,
It'd be nice to see a bit more extra on it, right? But that's not too that's not too important as a whole. But Cody winning, I wasn't happy about it. I was rooting for Sammy the whole time. I was rooting for Sammy.
yeah.
I
No,
wanted to see Sammy.
I agree that I would have. I mean, yes, obviously I would have preferred Jacob, but I also would have preferred Sammy over Cody because at the end of the day, like, just stop it. Stop putting him in all the big stuff. Like, he's he is a good wrestler, but at the same time, it's too much. Like,
Yeah, I agreed.
he's balancing like on the side of a coin, whether he's a heel or not. It's like make up your mind because he hasn't flipped that switch yet. So it's like do me a favor, lad. I don't know, rip your trousers, dye your hair black, and come out and start kicking shit out of Mello or Sammy or someone.
Some,
Just
yeah,
just do it. Just
just
turn heel.
go back to dashing Cody Rhodes. Just do something. It seems to me
Paint,
that
paint your face gold, paint or whatever color he did. Go back to Stardust. Just do it. Do
go
it.
back,
Like,
back to being irrelevant.
yeah, like just do something interesting because
I
at this
like I like him. I like Cody as a whole. Like, is the whole package. I like. I'm not. When I say I dislike Cody Rhodes, I feel like I'm not explaining myself enough. I dislike the way he's been booked. He's been booked as like Jesus himself if he was a
yeah,
wrestler, and it feels like that he's getting all the opportunities after opportunity. We're going by the looks of it. We may see. Oh, Cody Rhodes, yeah, we helped the fans, not make him tie with Stone Cold's record, but we're going to give him the chamber win anyway. We weren't bothered about how he got to WrestleMania as long as he wasn't fighting for the WWE Championship. That's all we cared about. No,
yeah,
nobody on God's green earth wanted him to win the Royal Rumble and then
yeah,
go and to WrestleMania again for like the third time in 4 years because we didn't want to see him versus Drew McIntyre again. That's all we didn't want to see.
yeah.
And
No,
no
I
one wants to
agree.
see the same thing again just happening when he wins the chamber instead. When there's
Yeah,
plenty of other people who are already in that chamber who should be in this position. But obviously, because there's people who are in there from Raw, it's not going to happen. Because I know what WWE is like. If there's a mixed brand match and it's for one of the brand's titles, that are an opportunity at that title, they are not going to have a person from the opposite brand win. I've seen this so much over the years, like stupidly. There's only been one occasion where I've ever seen it happen, and it was an Elimination Chamber match. It was for the World Heavyweight Championship. Edge had just been in one, lost, came out, attacked Kofi Kingston, beat him up, took his place in the pod, and won the match.
yeah.
That is the only time I've ever seen that. And I feel like how long ago was that now? That was
No,
16
then
years ago. In the
don't do
past
it a
16
while ago.
years, nothing's happened like that.
Yeah, no, like see, obviously with you saying that, I I am very much agreeing with you, and then it's a coin flip because next week's match, what we've got, SmackDown, it's Trick, Damien,
It,
and Mello. None of those are winning. Trick's gonna be in the chamber, but he's not gonna win the chamber. So it's a
no,
coin
it's not
flip,
close now.
Cody or Randy. Both of them have got history. Just give it to Randy. Just do it. Let him main event WrestleMania again. Let him win the title again. Let there be some kind of build up where Drew fights Jacob and Sammy because obviously Jacob's going to feel cheated out of his position, so that's going to continue for the next 2 weeks. and Sammy's going to be pissed because he got involved when Sammy would rather lose with honor than win by cheating. So give me a triple threat at Elimination Chamber with those three. Then have Drew, so that he's defended it again. Then have Drew and Randy at WrestleMania, and have Randy win 15.
Exactly. I think that
I'd
seems
love
like a good idea. To
I'd
me,
love
I feel like the Sami Zayn was cheated out. Sami Zayn wasn't cheated; he was stupid.
No, no, no.
He was
No,
stupid.
Jacob was cheated because he got thrown through the
Jacob was
table.
cheated. Yes, right. Yeah.
Sammy
Jacob was
doesn't
cheated.
want to cheat. Sammy doesn't want
That
to
was
win
stupid.
by getting help. I mean, yeah, it was stupid.
Cody Rhodes ate the opportunity up within a
Yeah.
second of him kicking Drew McIntyre in the head.
Yeah.
Just goes to show Drew McIntyre was right. As
Yeah.
I have said multiple times to you, Jack, that Drew
Yes.
McIntyre is right about Cody Rhodes. Only because I just purely hate the way Cody Rhodes is booked and I cannot stand it. Don't get me wrong, if I'd seen Cody Rhodes in person, I'd probably say hello, handshake, and thank you for everything he does because he is a great wrestler and honestly is brilliant. And I've seen him wrestle live and honestly he's one of the nicest people ever.
Yeah.
And
But yeah, no,
still
it's
though,
definitely.
I'd love to see Drew McIntyre kick his head off, but like, that's the point.
But no, it is definitely his booking. That's why we don't like him. He's just relying on him too much. But before we finish off this little segment, I just want to say that from the conversation that we had, oh God, it's probably in the first one because obviously he had all of his little segments in every single show, but I would just like to confirm that I was right. Obafemi has officially joined SmackDown. I was right. Thank you very much.
He hasn't officially joined SmackDown.
Yes, he has. He got the documents from Nick Aldis, and he's got a fight, an actual documented fight against Kit Wilson on next Friday on the next edition of SmackDown. He has joined SmackDown. Thank you very much. Don't even try to deny it.
He had one, mate. He had one last week with Kit Wilson. He also had
It
one.
wasn't. No. It wasn't. It wasn't a documented fight. He turned up and threw him through the ring like his fighting on Raw. He turned up, bodied the Viking Raiders or whatever you want to call them.
Didn't, but yeah, just because he's got the documents doesn't mean he's going to sign them. He hasn't
He's-
signed them yet, and nothing's been announced.
You're in denial. Right now, you're in denial, and I like it. You be salty because I was right.
Nothing's been announced.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, genuinely, I would absolutely love to see him on Raw this week and be like, right, who do you want to fight? And then he comes out and just crunches Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship and wins it. And then, therefore, by proxy, he is on Raw. That is wishful thinking a little bit, but I genuinely do think he will be going to Raw. And I still do believe that. I think he's just here to just play about with Kit Wilson, get a feel for the main roster, crunch a couple people.
I mean, yeah.
Next to Elton Prince.
I mean, he is playing with Kit. Obviously, Kit's calling everyone toxic, but our boy's an feminist, so you can't argue with it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Cannot.
Right, but no, I did actually really enjoy this one, and obviously we'll see what happens on Monday when the Elimination Chamber match it's Dom, Gunther, and someone else. Can't remember.
Von Evans.
Is it? Oh, well. I mean, it's not. I love him. It's not going to be Dom. I'm not going to put Dom in the chamber. Not with Randy, Cody, and Trick. Like as much as Dom is probably future world title holder, they're not going to do it yet.
I could see Javon Evans in there because there's only one person who's going to fly off the top of the pod, and that's Javon Evans.
It's not right. As much as you love him right now, you have to accept it shouldn't be Gunther.
Oh, I don't want to see it just because I feel like Gunther versus Drew. I've seen that enough a couple of years ago, and I just don't want to see anymore.
In my opinion, Elimination Chamber is not a Gunther fight. It's not.
No.
Like Gunther doesn't get thrown into desks and steel chairs and into like steel steps. He doesn't take those bumps because he's seen as too strong. So throwing him into the Elimination Chamber match where he's actually going to take bumps like into the side of the chains, into the chambers, off the top. He's not going to take those kind of bumps. Whereas Javon Evans will, and he's an absolute maniac.
Agreed.
So, but yeah, we'll see if our opinion's right when we talk about that
We
next week.
shall see. We shall
But
see.
to finish this off, obviously last week we spoke about our um favorite wrestlers at the moment. Um, Want to obviously go the opposite direction. So gonna not our least favorite, but who we think is most underrated in across the brands at the moment. Gonna do just three for each, the men and the women this time. Because if we say everyone's underrated, then you know everyone should be doing better at the same time. Um, we did talk about this beforehand. We haven't discussed who it is, but it's not necessarily because people think they're bad, but it could also be just because they're not getting enough screen time.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna go with my. Are we starting with men's or are we starting with women's today?
We'll keep it the same. So we'll start with the women, and then we'll finish with the men.
Yeah. For the women's, for me, I'm going to have to go. Well, as a third, I'm not actually entirely sure. For me, I'm gonna have to go Kyrie Sane. I feel like she's not necessarily doing bad or good. She's just there at the moment, but every time she wrestles, you see she does put on a good performance.
Mhm.
Always in it, like that person you always get. You get a 7 out of 10 every week. It's always
Mm.
consistent. It's consistent, and that's what's great about it. She does obviously do great in the tag matches, but she would shine in her own. But it's just unfortunate that she's stuck in a tag team at the moment. But that's how it is. So if you want to go to your third, then Jack.
I also have Kerry Sane for pretty much the exact same reasons. Although slight deviation, obviously, in terms of the tag team, I think obviously Asuka's the bigger name. She's obviously done a lot more with her time in WWE. But I think in the tag team matches, Kairi Sane carries, to be completely honest with you. She's the high flyer. She's the one who goes for the big stuff, who takes the big bumps. Obviously she did start to get a little bit of a run before Asuka came back and before Liv Morgan got injured. Obviously, Liv Morgan got injured in the match against Kairi Sane. But then since then, obviously, they've relied on her kind of being Asuka's, little pet. Um, but no, yeah, I also have Kairi Sane in there as well. And mine's not in a particular order. Um, but yeah, I do agree with you on that one. My second, uh, you know, was actually Zelina Vega. Um, because obviously she was, constantly in and around the mid card, the title scene. Obviously, she did win the US title before losing it to Julia. Um, Obviously, the fight on Friday and the Elimination Chamber qualifier obviously showcased that she can hang with the main eventers. Um, but now she's just kind of stuck in that middle ground of what's my husband doing tonight. I mean, she's lost her intro music for God's sake. Like she used Alistair Black's. Like I know obviously it fits her style with the way that she's kind of operating now with her gimmick, but I feel like they should really book her a little bit more.
No, I agree 100%. That it is a bit different with her, and should get some more matches. I feel like the women's mid card could use all the women it could get really.
Yeah.
But on someone who's been main eventing recently, and for me, I've said this to you for a while now. I don't know if you remember, but Raquel Rodriguez will be my second.
Okay.
Um, she's underrated by the fans themselves.
Yeah.
Prior to the past few weeks of her getting world title matches, obviously a lot of people are seeing it more now. So I feel like this is why she's only second rather than first. She would have been first if you asked me this 6 months ago. Um, but she's getting her opportunity to showcase herself now. She did
Mm.
really well in that street fight match that they had with Stephanie Vaca, she showed herself. She showed how good she was, and she could hang with If she can hang with Stephanie Vaca, she can hang with pretty much anybody in the women's wrestling industry. And it's not got much to do with it, but I just love the Tahana bomb. I just love it. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about it. It's just the coolest form of power bomb I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, that's why she's there, and I feel like that's a good one at the moment, is in terms of underrated, because a lot of the women's wrestlers are rated quite highly at the moment. But we're gonna go on to my first now, and that is the lovely Her Majesty Chelsea Green. My reasons for this, obviously, as people may say, she's not underrated, but a lot of people don't seem to talk much about her.
Yeah.
And I see it all the time on wrestling YouTube, wrestling TikTok platforms, other platforms, Instagram, whatever I see wrestling on. I don't see much people talking about how good Chelsea Green is, and that's because she's taken the role of the women's Miz, so to say. She herself has said that that's what she wants to be as well, so she's not too bothered by it. But she's great. She gets involved in different matches. She does well in AAA. She's showing up multiple times a week for different promotions under the WWE platform. If you asked her to go to NXT one night, AAA the next, and then the next Friday night SmackDown, she'd do it. Right? She's got that devotion to the craft, and her as a wrestler is brilliant. I really, really wanted her to win last week. I really, really wanted it to happen because I feel like she needs to be seen by more people in the WWE ladder. Yeah, not necessarily the AAA sort of side, because obviously a lot of people in AAA know who she is. She knows she's good, but she needs to be seen more in that WWE. Give her that main event. Give her that women's chamber match. Give her a chance to see if she's like, oh, is she gonna win? Oh, she's second in the women's chamber. She gets eliminated by this person or whatever. It shows that they trust her. She's getting all these matches and all these platforms. It shows that they trust her. And that's why, to me, she needs to be given some world title opportunities. I see why at the moment they don't, because the brand she's on has a heel champion and she's a heel herself. So yeah, I see why they don't at the moment. Obviously, we all know the heel fights don't gel well. Like face fights gel better than heel fights. And we all know that because we all like the face fights, because that's just how it is. Like, oh, I respect you so much, I want to fight you. All that like macho stuff, all that macho crap that everyone seems to love. But yeah, like I prefer the heel. Personally, I prefer like a heel-ish person fighting a proper heel. Like, I hate you so much. You are an absolute so and so, and I prefer those ones where they just beat the living crap out of each other. Kind of like Cody and Jake Fatu did. I did enjoy that brawl. It wasn't a match; it was a brawl. I really enjoyed it. See the way it ended with Drew McIntyre not turning up and ruining their day at work. But Jack, what's your first or your other one?
So mine is someone that absolutely carried the mid card for the first 6 months of last year, and then since then has been stuck in a good tag team, but a tag team that's not doing anything. So for me, Lyra Valkyria, because she was, constantly she was first of all inaugural holder of the IC title, then defended it against a good couple of people, took it to WrestleMania. It wasn't an IC title match, but then won the tag team with Becky, lost in the next night, and then had this little back and forth with Becky, which was a bit too much. But then since that final fight with Becky, where it was a case of if you lose to Becky, you cannot challenge her for the IC title anymore. It was since then she's done nothing. She's gone into obscurity. She does have good fights when she does obviously come up against Judgment Day or in tag team matches or anything like that. But it just feels as though she's been pushed down the ladder um, and became one of those where it's like, okay, we need these people to be over, so Lyra's going to eat a pen. But I don't think it's fair. I think she deserves a bit more respect. I think she deserves another single run. maybe even at a main title because she just is
No,
good enough.
I agree. I feel like she does as well. Um, she's a good choice. She was actually in the mix for mine. She was like it was either her or um like the other three. So it was like she would have been my fourth pick, I think.
Yeah.
But we'll go on to my third of the men's now. Now it's a bit of a difficult one because I feel like a lot of the men's are fairly rated at least, or over, or even overrated. But to me, I feel like my so what's a third? So a third is like the most like third most underrated is what I mean.
Hmm.
And I would have to say that is Bronson Reed because he's
Okay.
it's a bit of a strange pick. I know. When I say underrated, we all talk about him because he's in the vision.
Mm.
But I feel like he's overshadowed by Bron Baker or Logan Paul or even Theory a bit. Um, but Theory's a push, obviously, because he's brand new at the division. But Bronson Reed himself, that match against Roman Reigns, that like street fight that they had, was brilliant. He has good matches. He's got a great finisher. He's pretty good on the mic. He's good at getting in people's heads. He's good at being that enforcer of the group. That I am a meathead and I will crush you sort of vibe. And I feel like he's just a good wrestler as a whole. And to me, watching him over the years, especially with that US title sort of picture that they had with it when it was Theory, Seth Rollins, Bronson, I kind of liked the idea of it being like if Bronson Reed, getting his sort of getting his flowers a bit from
Yeah.
WWE, and I feel like now that he's in this tag team, he's in that sort of mix for the future. With Braun going, could he take over the Vision? I don't think so because I feel like Logan Paul would be the best fit. Just because I feel like Logan Paul gets a horrible reaction everywhere he goes, and I feel like that's just what suits the Vision best. But Jack,
No, I
I'll
get
let you
that.
go, and I'll let you
Obviously,
see what you say.
so yeah, I mean, I get that. He's gone down the pecking order a little bit, obviously, recently. So I don't disagree with it. Obviously, after you mentioned that. But my third is someone actually mentioned last week. Who was my honorable mention for someone I'm enjoying a lot. Dragon Lee. Obviously, he has been getting a little bit more screen time. Obviously, he had to run with the tag team belts, but it was a tag team with AJ Styles. Everyone loves AJ Styles, and AJ Styles could have had that tag team win with absolutely anyone, and they still would have loved it. But it was kind of what we said last week. Obviously, the more the Dragon Lee's been on, the more that I'm seeing him as the future of lucha leader in the WWE. But I still feel like he needs a lot more booking. He needs that spotlight um, on him a bit. Maybe have him go after the IC title. I think he'd actually be a great choice to hold the IC title for a bit after Dom. But
No, let's say that. Let's say that.
but yeah, no, fairly straightforward. For me, Dragon Lee is quite underrated at the moment. Um, Simple as, to be honest with you. My number two is someone that I have told you that I absolutely love, but he's stuck, and he's going to be stuck for a long time because the Wyatt Six are not breaking up anytime soon. But for me, number two is Dexter Loomis because I loved his singles run, obviously back when he was singles, and I still think he's a phenomenal performer in the tag team with Joe Gacy. But I just think people don't look at them individually, especially Dexter Loomis. I think they look at it as the Wyatt Six. The Wyatt Six as a whole is strong, but individually, no one talks about them. I love Dexter Loomis. I wish Dexter Loomis had a singles run. Maybe I mean keep the gimmick that you've got. Get rid of it. It's up to you. I liked it when you had a flat top and a mustache. I thought you looked great. But yeah, for me, number two, Dexter Loomis. He just needs more attention on himself.
Well, I feel like to me, my number two, it's going to be someone who's been around a while. I say a while, a long, long time. Um, and he's only underrated purely because of his accomplishments and what he's actually had in the WWE as a whole. What he's done for the company whilst it was in sort of a bit of a strange time. He did have a bad WrestleMania main event, but he did beat John Cena in it, and
Okay.
that is the Miz. The Miz is, to me, is someone who's underrated still criminally. A lot of people
Mm.
don't like him for obviously they just don't. That's just how it is at the moment. As a whole, he's a great wrestler, and he's just always been brilliant. He's won lots of belts, and I feel like at the moment still he's still doing some good stuff with Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo. But I'll go on to my first then now, Jack, and for similar reasons as to um for similar reasons as to Miss, he's been around a little while. He's underrated because he does these because he's been overshadowed by other members of sort of groups or members of sort of family members or something like that, and that is
Mm.
Solo Sikoa.
Okay. Okay. I definitely didn't expect that. I won't lie.
My reasons for this, obviously, a lot of people think Tama Tonga's better. Yeah, obviously, a lot of people do think that, but with Solo, he's improved vastly since he's come to the main roster from the start to now. And I feel like on the mic, he is getting better and he's starting to mock people. He's starting to take the mick out of them. He's
Yeah.
shown sort of, and please don't like laugh at me for this. He's shown shades of like The Rock, like just like mocking people, taking the mick, having a bit of a wind up, proper like proper old school Rocky. And
Yeah.
I feel like Solo's getting into his groove a bit, and he's shown a bit more. And in the ring, he is great as well. He's gotten better, and I feel like just 100% Solo score. You could put the like United States Championship on him next week. I'd be happy with it. You
Okay.
could put the world heavyweight title on him in the next 10 months, and I'd be happy with it. It's he's getting better and better and better, and eventually he'll be at that point where he could be like, "Oh, I'm gonna carry the company. Oh, I'm gonna be main event in WrestleMania alongside Obafemi, alongside Bron Breakker, alongside Austin Theory, hopefully, who's was also in the thought process for myself." But Jack, what's your first?
But I will say I did also think of the Miz. To be honest with you, obviously, as same obviously similar reason for Chelsea Gray, bit of a gimmick at the moment, kind of getting eating pins. But in the end, I went with someone that I'm fairly certain you do not like, and I did not like the until his return and his bit of a gimmick change when he challenged Sami Zayn for the IC title, the US title, and that is Shinsuke Nakamura. Um, Obviously, I didn't like his kind of gimmick, his old his Japanese ancient warrior style that he had going on for a little bit. Made me dislike him a lot. But then since then, obviously, he changed his gimmick back, and I've been really enjoying pretty much every single fight that he's done. To be honest with you, um, but obviously, I don't know. It just seems like he is extremely underrated. Like he's a solid wrestler to put in a fight, but then he's not winning the fight. Like obviously he lost to Sammy, he lost to Ilya, he lost to Mello, he lost to AJ, he lost to 10 Man. Like he's a safe he's a safe wrestler to put in, but he doesn't win.
Right, he's
So
eating them pins at the moment, and
exactly,
I could see why you'd say that. It's underrated by
exactly,
the company, I think, right? But I feel like the company trust him to take
yeah,
these matches, to take the losses, but the company
yeah,
trusts him to do the job. And I feel like that's I can get what you're getting at. I understand that I didn't like his old gimmick either, and I didn't really just gel with just like more. But he has grown on me a bit.
mm. But yeah, that is my number one. Um, Tried to be a little bit of a short one this week though. Obviously, we did only have the one show to go through. But if you want to give us your opinion on any other underrated wrestlers. Obviously there's ones that aren't getting shown, or maybe ones that are getting shown a lot but may still be underrated. Obviously that's your opinion. If you want to walk them down in the comments, be happy to disagree with me. But on that note, it has been lovely speaking to you again, Reese, as always. If you'd like to, if you could like, share, subscribe, it'd be very much appreciated. And we will see you next week.
See you next week, people.